upon a time, they were called the Wingless Warriors, and indeed that term still fits very, very well. The 410 non-wing sprints in town, and a good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing radio here on KCYK Yuma, Outlaw Country, AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thanks so much for joining us today. The AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Cars kicked off 2 nights of action last night out at the Diamond in the Deserts, and are set to go at it again tonight. A little more lore added to the history of the non-wing 410s here in Yuma, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing more added tonight. A couple of special guests set to join us in studio this morning. Campbell, California's Bud Kaeding, 3-time USAC Silver Crown champion, among many notable accomplishments, and Yuma's own the Magic Man, Mike Martin, in action here, fresh off a win last week in the USAC Southwest Series at Arizona Speedway. Both of those men will be joining us in just a few minutes. First, though, a quick recap of last night's racing, and it was a high-side cushion ride for Damian Gardner in his 4A Alexander Racing, Scott Sales Company, CSI Shock, Spike J&D Performance Sprint Car, as the Demon mostly worked the top in going wire-to-wire for the 30-lap feature win. In fact, a 1-2 sweep for the Alexander Racing cars as USAC CRA points leader Nick Foss brought his number 4 machine home in the second spots, and it was a battle for Foss, having to work past Mike Spencer, R.J. Johnson, and Bud Kaeding in a back-and-forth battle that saw the second, third, and fourth position swap hands several times. Rounding out the top 5, it was 5-time defending USAC CRA champion Spencer in that third position, with Kaeding in the 4 spots and Charles Davis Jr. from Buckeye taking down the number 5 spot. Gardner's win last night is series-leading 42nd all-time in USAC CRA competition. A couple of other race notes. Foss setting a new one-lap track record in qualifying last night with a time of 16.451 around the 3/8 mile Cocopah Speedway Oval. That broke the mark of 16.734 that he had set just last year. Also bettering that prior track record was Foss teammate Gardner in at 16.673. A couple of cars wound up upside down last night. A.J. Bender getting his number 21 machine upside down during heat race action. Matt Rossi in the 0-2 falling victim to the outer wall in turn 2 during the feature. Neither driver was injured. Bender was able to bring out a backup car to compete in the feature, while Rossi hoping to piece his machine back together for action tonight. Also in action last night out at Cocopah Speedway, the Napa Auto Parts Factory stocks, where Yuma's Jordan White in the number 86 raced off to his third straight feature win. White waging a fierce battle with Yuma's Miles Morris in the number 3. Both drivers taking turns at the front of the field, working both high and low as they battled after a couple of mid-race cautions, with White ultimately pulling away for the win. Word from several of the factory drivers is that they'll have their cars back out again tonight to run with the Fisher Automotive Street Stocks, which are on the undercard for tonight's race action. And we do get set now for more action tonight. The AMSOIL USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprint cars. Advanced tickets, we would remind you, still available for tonight's show at select Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores and also at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. Next here on Laptime Live, we get set to talk with the Magic Man, Yuma's Mike Martin, and a third-generation driver from the legendary Campbell, California Kaeding clan, Bud Kaeding, who's authoring some legends of his own on the dirt tracks of America. Both men set to join us next. It's Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400.
Timmy, how old are you?
9 3/4.
Oh, why the Corolla?
Are you kidding? Over 80% of Corollas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. And APRs are so low, I figured I might as well make a down payment now.
Who taught you about low APRs?
Some things, you just know.
Kids grow up so fast.
Get Corolla, the car you can count on, right now at your Toyota dealer. Hurry in today and get amazing deals and low APRs on the advanced, affordable, and always reliable Corolla. To learn more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on Polk U.S. Vehicles in Operation Registration Statistics, MY 1993 through 2012 as of October 2012 includes Matrix models.
Visit Alexander Toyota in Yuma, or for more information, please log on to Toyota.com. Toyota.
Perfect to the letter. Thank you, Yuma, for voting Sign Pro Yuma's best sign and banner shop for 2012. Remember Sign Pro for all your sign needs, like vehicle graphics, magnetics, and custom stickers, and more. Call 783-7776 or stop by Sign Pro today. And thanks again for voting us Yuma's best sign and banner shop.
April 20th, Kaimani Marley comes to Cocopah Casino. Kaimani Marley, son of reggae icon Bob Marley, continues where his father left off, creating a musical style that transcends cultural and creative boundaries, incorporating reggae, hip-hop, blues, and rock. Tickets on sale now. $50 advance VIP, $35 advance general admission. Call 1-800-23-SLOTS or visit CocopahResort.com for more information. April 20th, Kaimani Marley at Cocopah Casino. Live the rush.
Hi, I'm Les Clark, and I've got a new home on your radio dial. Tune in Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for Outlaw Talk live and local from 6 to 8 a.m. Outlaw Talk is a great forum for local, state, and national issues, ranging from immigration to gun laws and everything in between. I'd love to take your calls, too. You can call 782-4321 and share your thoughts. It's Outlaw Talk on Outlaw Country, 6 to 8 a.m. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I hope you'll join me.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. Can you? You can't see it either. Make sure your leftovers are as safe as they are delicious. Get them into the refrigerator as soon as possible and transfer them into shallow containers. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by chilling food promptly and properly. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Racing Radio. It's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Stanhope. Sprint car racing tonight at the Diamond in the Desert, specifically the AMSOIL USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprint cars. And joining us now, today's special guest, Mike Martin, driving the Martin Ultimate Off-Road, Naquin Precision Earth Moving, Advanced Racing Suspension, Kaeding Performance, Sunland Chemical, Yuma Pest number 16, and Bud Kaeding, driving the Junior Bowman, Buster and Ziggy Enterprises, Kaeding Performance, Ultimate Off-Road, number 29. And welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thank you both so much for taking time out of a busy race day to join us here on Laptime Live. And just starting off with last night's action, first of all, at Cocopah Speedway. Bud, you were able to run fourth and were in the midst of a pretty fierce battle in the 2, 3, and 4 positions for much of the race. Can you kind of take us through it from inside your race car, so to speak?
Yeah, we struggled a little bit through the night, just trying to find the right gear combination for our car. And I think we tripped upon the right one there for the main event and had ourselves in a good position at a couple different points of the race to, get ourselves up in the second and third. And just racing through 1 and 2 there pretty hard. And the track started getting kind of slick there through the center. And I slipped up and hit the fence and almost got up over it and almost got upside down and ended up ripping the right rear shock and Jacob's ladder off the car. And so it was kind of just limped it home from there. And so we just kind of cruised around, trying to stay out of trouble, try not to hit the fence again or try not to get over the cushion. And, we came on with a solid 4th place finish. I think we definitely had a better car than what we showed, especially toward the end of the race there, hitting the wall and knocking that stuff off the car. It really affects the handling and of what you got going on. And as a driver, when you hit the wall and get the car as out of shape as we did, something's wrong with it. So your tendencies are a lot less of getting the car in the corners and getting it in as hard as you were earlier in the race. So all in all, we had a real good car, and racing with these guys, it's been a struggle for us so far this year. So having a good night last night was real good, and I can't thank Mike and the guys at Ultimate Off-Road enough to having us out here running their spare car, so we didn't have to tow all our stuff down from California. So it makes everything a lot easier, and just real happy to be out here racing. First time out here at Yuma, and it's been pretty good so far.
Well, Bud, certainly glad to have you here in Yuma and out at Cocopah Speedway. And I want to put a similar question to Mike. You came into action last night, as we noted, off of a win just last week over at Arizona Speedway, 9th in last night's feature. How did you see the race?
Actually, kind of had some of the similar circumstances that Bud had. I ended up hitting the fence there and knocking the Jacobs ladder out of my car as well, but at that point I rolled to the bottom and started picking up a little bit of momentum on the bottom, just too little too late. But coming off that win last weekend, carried some good momentum into this weekend, but we don't have much 410 experience. Unfortunately, we're in Arizona, there's not a lot of 410 racing, so we predominantly run 360 stuff, which is completely different in as far as the handling characteristics of the car and the horsepower and the weight of them. So I'm a lot more comfortable running my 360 stuff, but running this 410 stuff is definitely going to make me a better driver. So I'm going to try and run as many 410 shows as we can this year to see if we can improve our program.
Late night for both of you last night. Bit of a tough day today, too, in terms of putting things back together to come on out tonight.
Fortunately, we're not in too bad a shape. I mean, like Bud said, he kind of limped it home, so didn't tear up too much stuff. It'd have been one thing if we would have turned it over or something, but we just got a lot of maintenance stuff to do and fix some broken parts, and we should be in good shape.
Mike, you've got quite a history with Cocopah Speedway, and going back, of course, to its prior guys as Yuma Speedway. Your impressions coming back in now after so many years here and then so many years racing other tracks?
The exciting part is that I ran here in like 98, 99. We won quite a few stock car races, and all I wanted to do was go sprint car racing, and I finally got an opportunity to do it, and I left, and the track shut down for so many years. So it was exciting to hear when the track was opening back up, but I was sure hoping that we could get some non-wing sprint car races over here, because that's what I'd been doing for the past 10 years. And to be given the opportunity to come back here and run some non-wing cars is pretty good, because it's the only racetrack I can come to and really have a good fan base, and the fact of have a hometown crowd in my favor. You go to Phoenix and everywhere else we've been racing, and you're just another face in the crowd, and there's 3 or 4 guys that are their local favorites. So it's pretty cool to come out here, and when we do any introductions on the front straightaway or anything like that, it makes you feel real good to have the fan base behind you when they do introduce you.
But you've seen as many racetracks as anyone in your experiences dirt track racing around the United States. Any initial impressions of Cocopah Speedway after first time out?
It's a lot nicer than I anticipated, that's for sure. For being closed for so long and them reopening the place, they've done a good job with it. Seems a little bit narrow at times. I think it was a little wider. The racing might be better, but that's just a characteristic of the racetrack, and something we all got to race with and deal with. But all in all, it raced really well. I think that the racing was pretty good last night, and everyone just kind of get comfortable with what they had underneath them. And I think the racing tonight's going to be a lot better. If they could just do something with the dust out there. The dust is, as far as I don't know how it is in the stands, but in the race car, pulling off the track, and you're like just dry locked your whole mouth and everything because of the dust and sand and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's just something you deal with, and it's little things everywhere. If everything was perfect, we'd find something else to complain about.
Indeed. Well, any takeaways from last night that both of you will put to work today in terms of how you prepare the cars, in terms of possibly a different approach to the race action tonight?
Our biggest thing with both our cars that we fought the first part of the night with qualifying in our heat races was our gearing, and I think we got that a lot better for the main event with both cars, and I think that'll close the gap. I mean, we were third quick, but we were 0.6 off a fast time, and I think a lot of the time that we were lacking with my car was with that gearing, and we were we were tacked out before we even got to the flag stand, so we're just losing a mile an hour. And kind of the same thing with Mike's car. I mean, we got them wheels spinning too hard, and got to get them underneath the cars.
And Mike, any observations from your standpoint?
I mean, exactly what Bud said. So going into the night, we're going to be a lot better off in the fact that we're not chasing gear, and all we got to do is really worry about keeping the cars underneath us, which we did a pretty good job last night. And fortunately, we were in 2 different heat races, so we were able to bounce off some stuff from each other. I learned from what he had going on here on the dash, so that really helped us get a good handle of what we needed to do for the feature. But us not chasing gear tonight's really going to help us out, that we can just focus on making the cars better. And last night was basically getting good for tonight, so I look forward to it.
Well, looking forward to seeing both of you gentlemen in action tonight. Mike Martin and Bud Kaeding are special guests on this special race day USAC CRA Sprint Car edition of Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live. Again, the USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprinters set for action tonight at the Diamond in the Desert. It's Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time. You don't pay time.
This week is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. It is designated as a time when citizens can thank public safety men and women who respond to emergency calls and dispatch emergency professionals and equipment during times of crisis. Show your gratitude to 911 call takers, dispatchers, and technicians that maintain radio and emergency phone systems, communications staff trainers, communications center personnel, and other public safety telecommunications staff across the country who work tirelessly, often behind the scenes, to help you during emergencies. Thank you from Z93 and Outlaw Country.
When you want to stay informed, all you need to do is tune in to Outlaw Country. When breaking news happens in Yuma, the Outlaw Country News Department is on top of it. News Director Jennifer Blackwell is quick to provide news information and updates to keep the community informed. Over the airwaves and on Facebook and Twitter. When you want Yuma news you know you can count on, keep it right here. Outlaw Country is your home for the best classic country and Yuma news with Jennifer Blackwell.
Bigger, USAC 410 sprint cars and stock cars are coming to the Diamond in the Desert Cocopah Speedway. Friday, April 19th and Saturday, April 20th. Bigger, better, louder. 2 nights of the very best in USAC 410 sprint car action. Gates open at 5 p.m. each night. Food, drink, fun under the Sonoran skies at Cocopah Speedway. Tickets on sale now at the Cocopah Casino gift shop and local area Napa stores. Kids 6 and under free. Visit CocopahSpeedway.com for more information.
I'm Sarah Wisdom, Community Relations Manager for the Yuma County Library District. The staff at Z93 and Outlaw Country truly care about Yuma and are always willing to assist the public library with its outreach efforts. They promote as many of our programs as possible and always go the extra mile to publicize special events. People of all ages who attend our programs frequently tell us they heard about the event on the radio.
Army Specialist Lance Gieselman was paralyzed when his tank was blown up in Iraq.
I was the only survivor.
Paralyzed Veterans of America is an independent organization dedicated to ensuring our injured veterans get all the benefits they've earned and need. Paralyzed Veterans Senior National Service Officer Anthony Steele.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to serve our veterans.
If you would like to help our veterans, visit PDA.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
It's Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. A special race day edition of Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, as again visiting with us today, Bud Kaeding and Mike Martin. And again, thanks so much, guys, for taking time out of a busy race day to join us here today. Bud, want to talk about background a little bit. We mentioned at the top of the program, you are third generation of the Kaeding family from out of Campbell, California. I personally had the pleasure for many, many years up in the Bay Area to watch the Campbell Comet. Your grandfather, Howard Kaeding, race. Of course, your father, Brent, also, a Hall of Famer in his own right with many championships to speak of. Any pressure or, how do you live up to that heritage, so to speak?
As far as pressure, now we never. I have an older brother that races as well, but we never had any pressure on us to do this. I mean, we did it because we wanted to. My dad, growing up as kids, never pushed it upon us. I mean, if it was there, if we wanted to do it, like as far as racing quarter midgets and that kind of stuff, and we both chose that that's what we wanted to do. Then, my dad supported our racing till we were 15 years old, and then after we were 15, he gave us the equipment, and we could sell it off and do what we wanted to do with the money. We just split it, and I bought a sprint car with my money, and my brother went and bought a pickup truck. And then I started racing sprint car stuff when I was 16, and as far as my brother went, he didn't really have any interest in doing it. He was more interested in girls, and
always a good thing.
Yeah. I was wondering for a while there. So anyhow, we started racing pretty good. Our first few races out, and Tim started getting the itch that he wanted to race a sprint car. So my dad helped him get into another guy's deal, and that's how kind of that all came about. But as far as pressure, obviously, if you wanted to go that route, there's big shoes to fill there with my dad and grandfather both. But my brother and I have both kind of spun off into our own right, our own thing.
No punk, no funk.
I went a whole different road than my dad ever went. Moving to the Midwest and racing and Silver Crown and Indy Lights and all this other stuff that I've done, where my dad strictly ran wing sprint cars and did hit and miss non-wing stuff. He had a couple shots doing some NASCAR stuff in the 90s there. And my grandfather, I mean, he pretty much raced a lot of pavement and wing sprint car stuff as well. But as far as the versatility, they kind of stuck to one thing. And, my brother, he's on the road with the World of Outlaws. So we kind of all got our own, everything's the same. It's just a little bit different the way we've kind of approached it all. And my dad's real successful at it. And I think that in the last 15 years of my career racing sprint cars, I've won a lot of the bigger races, a lot of championships. And, I'm only 33, so I got a few years left in me, and hopefully I got a few wins left in me. And, when I'm 50 and eligible for that Hall of Fame, it'd be nice to be in there with him.
Something we'll certainly anticipate and look forward to. Now, you're driving in the team car that's owned by Mike Martin. Can both of you tell us how that relationship kind of built and developed, and how it is you're here in Martin's car?
Mike, he had me come out and race for him, I don't know, about 4 years ago at Tucson for the Western World, and I was kind of iffy on coming out. I didn't know if I really wanted to do it, and I'm uncomfortable sometimes getting in people's cars. And I've known Mike off and on just from pitting next to him at Manzanita and stuff like that for quite a while. And checking his girlfriend out across the pits. And so anyhow, I went out and raced, and the first night I destroyed the car, and then we worked all night building a new car, and ended up coming back running third on Saturday night. And from then on, we just kind of just developed a friendship, outside of racing as well. And so when we came down for the Winter Challenge this year, and we tore all our stuff up, and my owner was really leery on driving back down to Arizona 4 more times. So we put a deal together with Mike to, send our motors out, and then he would front, tire bills and anything that we tore up, he'd replace all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how it all came together. And then Mike's kind of, he works really hard at this, a lot harder than most people would think. He's got a lot of stuff going on with his businesses and these race cars. I mean, there's, at time when I came out here last time, we had 3 race cars running, and I mean, he's, I'm flying in on Thursday and just putting my seat in, my seatbelts in, and this guy's been working his butt off all week on getting the race cars ready and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of people around the track that probably don't like what he has going on right now, because his teams and his cars have been pretty successful in the last 5-6 months, and but it just goes to show that he's working hard at it and it's paying off for him.
Hard work does indeed pay off. And talking about that car ownership aspect of things, Mike, in addition to Field and Bud's car here at Cocopah Speedway, we note that you fielded the car that Brian Clausen has had a lot of recent success with. Of course, he's racing in the Midwest right now. But how did that come about for you personally that, you were wanting to reach out like that, so to speak?
Well, typically every year we, around Western World Tide, we might run 2 cars if we can, and it all started a few years back when I had a crew chief that always wanted to win the Western World real bad. So then from there, I kind of took it on my own. He's no longer with me, but I kind of took it on my own. I was like, man, it'd sure be good. It's always good to have a couple shots of the Western. So, like I said, like Bud was saying, he come in and we run the Western together that year, and then we hadn't had much success other than that time with anybody else running the Western. So I was like, yeah, I'm not sure that I'm going to run a second car at the Western. Just before the Western World, I won the Hall of Fame Classic there in Phoenix. It was a national USAC show with the 360, so I was like, man, we're pretty good here at Canyon. Do we really need somebody else to come in to run our second car for a chance to win the Western? So after that win, and Brian kind of approached me wanting to do something, and we got some sponsorship help together to be able to make it happen. And Brian's coming off a national USAC championship, so I figured he doesn't tear up much stuff, we should be pretty good, and went out and won the Western, so we were pretty good there, and just kind of took it from there. Picked up, wanted to run some stuff at the beginning of the year, and we were able to put some sponsorship money together to make it happen, and that's kind of where it came from Brian. With Brian, I'm sure he's kicking himself in the butt right now. All the races back there are getting rained out, and he's not able to race. But that's kind of how the whole Brian Clausen deal and us came together, and me and Bud, we've been doing some stuff back and forth for a little while, and Kaeding Performance, and Bud has a company called SCI that is all our bolt-on components on our cars. They help me out with all that stuff, so it's been a pretty good working relationship on that stuff.
The time indeed does pass quickly here on a Saturday morning. Bud mentioned you've worked really, really hard for this. I'm sure there are some folks who've helped along the way, some associates. Would you like to acknowledge them at this time?
Yeah, for sure. Cody Naquith with Naquin Precision Earth Moving, he not really into racing, but he helped me early on when I had a stock car, and that was pretty huge. And he's here in local, and he still helps me out to this day. He doesn't get much out of it because he doesn't get to come to the races much, but he's been a huge help. Sunland Chemical and Matt Phillips have helped me out a little bit this past weekend, and he come out to the racetrack this weekend and really enjoyed it, so hopefully there's good things to come there. You're asking a little bit about Bud's heritage and where he come from, and it's funny because, to back up a little bit, all this wouldn't be possible, or probably would never happen for me if it wasn't for Stan Samala, and he let me come into his shop at a young age and learn from them guys, and Stan runs a real nice, clean operation and taught me how to do things the right way early on in my racing career, so that was a huge help. Stan and his son Brett, we used to race together and stuff like that, but a lot of people in Yuma have always have helped or been interested in what I got going. Just they don't get to see they don't actually get to see the final results, and that's what's cool about being here at Cocopah this weekend. People can come out and see what I've been doing for the past 10 years.
Well, Mike, certainly glad to see you in action at Cocopah Speedway. And Bud, do you, anybody in particular, standouts that you'd like to mention in terms of getting you to this point in your career?
Yeah, there's a lot of people down the road that have helped, just at this given time. Junior Bowman and BZE, those guys they put a lot of effort behind me, to get anywhere I'm going right now. And, Mike Martin and everybody at Ultimate Off-Road, Omar and Matt and all the guys down there, they're working while Mike and I are down here. So, these guys, it takes a big group effort to make all this stuff happen. And, to be successful at it, you've got to surround yourself with the proper group, the guys with the right work ethic, and make sure the guys that are helping you got the fire underneath them, that this is their passion, what they want to do. They're not just there for a pit pass, look at girls, or drink your free beer. So it's, like I said, it's a huge group effort, and, if I could sit here and tell you everyone that's helped me along the way, we'd be here for a little while. So if you've helped me before, I appreciate it, and if you haven't, you should have.
Hey, Bud, I got to tell you, and Mike, I got to tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure having both of you in with us this morning, and certainly looking forward to seeing both of you back out tonight at Cocopah Speedway.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thank you so much once again. And again, Bud Kaeding, Mike Martin, our guests today here on Laptime Live. Just two of the stars in the sprint cars as the AMSOIL USAC CRA sprint cars get set for a second night invasion tonight at Cocopah Speedway. Tickets just $17 general admission, available now at Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores and at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. Tickets $15 for seniors and military, $5 for juniors 7 to 12, and children under 6 always free out at Cocopah Speedway. As you make your plans for tonight, we remind you that the shuttles will be running between Cocopah Casino and Cocopah Speedway, as they are for each and every event in 2013. It's easy access by simply parking over at the casino, maybe enjoying a late lunch, early dinner, and the many exciting entertainment options offered at Cocopah Casino and at the Wild River Family Entertainment Center before hopping on board the shuttle and then coming on over to the racetrack. It's also a great way to beat the after-exit rush. You can find out more about tonight's USAC CRA Sprint event by visiting Cocopah Speedway on the Internet. It's all available at the click of a mouse button. Just stop in at www.cocopahspeedway.com, and also be sure to like us on Facebook. Have a suggestion, an observation, or maybe a question you'd like to hear answered? Well, just post it to the Cocopah Speedway Facebook page. Additional info on the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprints also available at usacracing.com/CRA, and also on Facebook at USAC CRA Sprint Car Series. You've been listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m. here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.